Some say that corruption in Illinois is the political equivalent to deep dish pizza. You heard about it, and you kind of know about it, but when you see it, it tends to be a lot more than you thought it would be. And that's something I think that you've got in the political equation here for politics in Illinois and the long-time stories, time and again, of corruption. So clearly that's something that we'll have to focus on here with Illinois in Focus Daily, making sure that we keep up to date with what's happening in that space, because you've got a lot of different things going on. I mean, just in the last 10 years, you can see a litany of different political figures being arrested for corruption charges. I mean, just recently, you've got former House Speaker Michael Madigan. He faces charges of corruption in the ComEd 4 saga. So let's kind of just take a look and see what some of the Republicans in Illinois have to feel can be accomplished in the political space when it comes to corruption. Because again, you know, you've got Illinois corruption being the political equivalent of deep dish pizza. Everyone knows it's there, but it's still surprising when you see how much of it there is. Now, I talked with Illinois GOP Chair Kathy Salvi last month at the Republican National Convention. And she talked about political corruption, just how prevalent it is, especially when she talks and connects with people from other states.
So what is the solution to winning elections for Republicans? We have to look at the failed policies of the past and say, we offer something different and better. And it works. That is, you can't put the mistakes of the past on the working man and woman and burden the family with high taxes and more government interference. And I think that that message resonates with people, and that's why they're opening up and open to voting Republican. As for the culture of corruption, I've been here with many of the delegations from around the nation, and sadly, that is what we're known for, a culture of corruption in Illinois. And so I expect that by transparency, collaboration, open communication, and always being available to put my heart into leading this great party with its great message, we're going to turn things around in Illinois.
Again, Kathy Salvi sharing some of her thoughts about how Republicans may try to react to the corruption in Illinois. Because if you look at the list, and I've got a list here, Mike Madigan charged with nearly 24 counts of racketeering, bribery, and extortion in 2022. He was the longest-serving state house speaker in U.S. history. Federal prosecutors called it Madigan Enterprise. Nearly decade-long corruption scheme. Ed Burke, Chicago alderman, convicted of racketeering and bribery and attempted extortion last year. He was the longest-serving Democrat Chicago alderman, among the longest-serving. You've got others. Another Chicago alderman faced corruption charges. You had Tim Mapes, an associate of Mike Madigan. You've got some of the other political actors involved. And this is just over the past 5 to 10 years or so with the ComEd 4 saga, but also Martin Sandoval and others. You had Louis Arroyo and all of this involving different types of bribes that were happening. So Illinois corruption, obviously something that's well known across the country. And this also comes as Governor J.B. Pritzker, amid speculation that he was being vetted to be Kamala Harris's running mate late last month, he had used social media to respond to a Politico article about his criticism of e-cigarettes, despite his own cousin, Nicholas Pritzker, being the second largest shareholder of an e-cigarette company. Now, on a post on X responding to Daniel Lippman, Pritzker said, quote, not being a corrupt, stunning abdication of traditional Illinois political values, and Pritzker responded with, my bad. So Daniel Lippman saying that, again, not being corrupt is a stunning abdication of traditional Illinois political values, to which Pritzker says, quote, my bad. But, Tony McCombie, the Illinois House Minority Leader, when asked about how Republicans are going to capitalize on the corruption, the cloud of corruption in Illinois, especially with Mike Madigan going to trial in October ahead of the November election. Here's what Tony McCombie had to say late last month during the Republican National Convention.
Well, we'll have to see if he is going to be going to trial, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But Illinois has been unfortunately known for corruption, and we have to stop that. The Illinois Democrats have not been willing to make any change. We've been hearing about ethics, and we've been hearing about changes that they're going to be making, but they continue to not do that. So we're going to have to do that ourselves as voters and actually do that at the voter box.
Now, some Democrats have said, listen, the federal prosecutors are on top of this, and they're already finding people who are breaking laws, and that's why you've got a list of elected officials over the past 5 to 10 years that have been arrested and charged. You go back further, you've got Rod Blagojevich and that whole scenario. But Democrats have taken some steps. I mean, they've worked to change the state's revolving door policies of elected officials going and being lobbyists. They've gone and addressed some of the things with red light camera vendors and so on. So clearly that's something I think is an ongoing question of what kinds of things can be done. Is it just about having laws on the books to keep people from going and being a lobbyist, or is it more of having local officials address these things, having local officials actually investigate impropriety, like for instance the Illinois Attorney General, for example. So these are just a few of the other things, and again, Democrats sometimes they do kind of default to, hey, federal prosecutors are investigating these things. They're making the charges and so on. But State Senator Terry Bryant, she shared with us at the RNC some of her thoughts on, why she thinks former President Donald Trump should get in office.
To the corruption issue, again, going back to maybe why some people left Illinois, remember that Donald Trump is who gave the Justice Department the money and the resources that they needed to bring down Mike Madigan.
Clearly, a lot more to be said about all of this, especially as you've got Madigan facing trial in October. So we'll be watching that closely and also see if the Democrats address this at all from Illinois in Chicago, which has historically been the most corrupt city, and Illinois regularly makes the top list as the most corrupt state behind Louisiana. Louisiana, I mean, they've got their problems, but again, it's one of those running kind of themes. The amount of corruption taking headlines in Illinois, and how that's going to impact the November election, I guess we'll see. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Thank you for being with us each and every weekday morning. Stay tuned. As always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell right here with America's Talking Network.